Welcome to the 4th week of June at my allotment in East Sussex. I included part of the 21st of June in my last upload just to give the continuity for what I've been doing. Setting the first sleeper is very important because it sets the bond for all the others. Get the first one wrong and then you're struggling, adjusting and messing about. So it's important that care is taken, and this is where I left it at last week's input. Early next day, Thursday the 22nd of June, I started to set out the second sleeper. The concrete from the first sleeper had extended itself when I bedded it to where the holes are, so I had to realign it and then enlarge it. The other hole was okay, so that wasn't a problem. When I first started in the construction industry, most concrete was mixed and batched on site, not using the ready mix that came in later in the mid-60s. Material control was one of the duties I had as a surveyor stroke site engineer, and at college we had to practice making cubes to test. So what you're seeing here is part of that process, as well as trying out to get the concrete to be the correct mix. We also did experiments with shortening the amount of cement or sand, various things, and then testing them and seeing what the results were. Building colleges and building schools used to test these cubes for the various contractors round about as a means of their quality control. A high quality concrete is usually based at 4:1, and general concrete, like I'm using here, is 6:1. That is, in layman terms, 6 parts gravel, 2 parts sand to 1 part cement. Water is an important factor in concrete. You only need 0.05% of water to start the chemical reaction, but you need about 25% for workability. This excess water has to cure out of the concrete, and the concrete reaches its initial strength after 7 days, but its main strength after 28 days, but it keeps on curing forever. So 3 sets of cubes would be made. The first one would be crushed on 7 days, and the second one on 28 days, and the third one was if a cube failed and you'd test another one, because it could be a badly made cube. Extra cubes were sometimes made because if we could crush one, say on the 14th, and reach 28-day strength, then we could strip the support, and so the speed of the building got better. That's enough of all our yesterdays. Friday was the day of harvest. We desperately needed some more potatoes and weeding. Saturday was also a day of weeding, but I also planted out the Swiss chard in between the shallots and gladioli. gooseberries I harvested last week are now made into 2 delicious pies. A couple of my autumn planted onions were lifted, as was another batch of peas. The hot weather is still continuing, and so the main job again is watering. Heavy work such as the raised bed just has to be put on hold. A limited amount of forming the raised bed can be done after, say, 7 o'clock in the evening, working through till about 10. This is the raised bed laid dry, so I can set it out and plan ahead. Here I'm chamfering the timbers and making it look like one of those wood blocks raised beds, which are quite expensive. It has no practical purpose other than that it creates shadow lines which help on the general appearance. In particular those on the full length of the beams, and here we are again laid dry, giving a general appearance. Tuesday it bucketed it down. It didn't matter anyway because I went to the Crofton Halls in London to watch and listen to the keyboard player of the year. The winning artist is here, Ian Griffin, who comes from Wales, Swansea in fact. The blue bucket you can see is to catch the drips from a leaking roof. Amazing. You just couldn't get away from the rain. Back home on Wednesday it was a bit of shed work. There was a bit of drizzle rain about, which was opportune for me to make some stakes to be set into the sleepers to anchor them into the ground. They'll all come clear later. First sleeper is laid on the ground in its position, and you can see the mortise holes left from the old fence posts, and I'm going to utilise these with those timbers that I shaped yesterday. But first we must make sure it's level and square. Go the restraining spikes deep down through the roots of the hedge. Good and secure. Now we can stitch nail the next layer of timber securely through the back. This stitching method is an accepted method of securing timber to a sleeper below it. With this timber in place, we can now backfill to this level, followed by reduced levelling the west end section, so I can now set the beam in this position. First is the leg at the sides, and it was found that I not dug out enough, so I had to finish the reduced level digging. Never mind. next horizontal member is then again stitched to the member below, and when this is done we can backfill to the finished level. There are still other members to put down, the long piece at the back and another one to the west, but it just gives me some idea of what the desired finished look is going to be. Friday the 30th of June was spent mainly harvesting again, and that then brings us to the end of the month. Tomorrow is the 1st of July. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please comment. If you've not already done so, please subscribe. But till next week, bye.